Today, a popular Alton business owner died after fighting for her life for days. Yvonne Campbell was severely injured in Jamaica on Saturday when her tour bus crashed. Now friends are suddenly coming to terms with losing someone they called lovable, gifted, and irreplaceable. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Several other members of Campbell's party were injured in that crash. Friends and loved ones tell our Sarah Maki they're now fighting to bring them back home.
Yvonne Campbell's absence is felt in nearly every corner of the city of Alton, but most notably at her store. The sign out front now reads, "Closed for the week." There are flowers from friends and church members, a candle, stuffed animals, and shock.
It just took me to another level.
Campbell's photo, along with her twin sister, looms large on the side of the shop, a place where mourners bring bouquets for a woman whose personality was also larger than life.
I loved her so much. I'm hurt.
Campbell was seriously injured in this crash just days, her family says, after her health insurance expired on July 1st. They tried desperately to get her to the U.S. for treatment, but in a situation where every minute matters, it took too long. Another place feeling Campbell's absence, City Hall, where she was scheduled for a meeting Wednesday, but accidentally showed up 1 week early, just before her vacation.
She gave myself, my secretary, and my chief of staff cookies, and we all got a chance to hug her and to say how much we love her and appreciate her, just not knowing that that was the finality and not knowing that we were actually afforded an opportunity to say goodbye. And that will forever stay with me.
A sign of just how much support there is in Alton, a GoFundMe account has already raised more than $73,000 in just 48 hours. People who knew Yvonne said that's no surprise if you know her or if you know this community.
I'm born and raised here, and when there's something of this nature, Alton comes together. I don't care how divided we may be. Alton comes together.
Now people come together to remember someone they say who will never be replaced. In Alton, Sarah Maki, 5 on your side.
Some friends hope that GoFundMe money can be used to bring Yvonne and her family back from Jamaica. If you would like to help, just look for this story on our website, KSDK.com, under the As Seen on TV section.
Right now, a 12-year-old girl is in the hospital with critical injuries after a shooting. St. Louis police say she was hit in the crossfire while sitting in the back seat of a car. It happened at the corner of Bessie and Shreve Avenue in North St. Louis last night. Our Ryan Henson was in the neighborhood that was still a crime scene today, and he joins us live from the St. Louis Police Department after speaking with upset neighbors. Ryan.
Well, Mike, this happened at 11:15 last night, and we got to the neighborhood just after noon today, 1 o'clock, and crime lab techs still out there collecting evidence. By my count, I saw 20 plus evidence markers on the ground. And unfortunately, this was a tragedy. An innocent bystander, 12-year-old girl, was shot in the head. She's in critical condition right now. I spoke with a neighbor who says he's just thankful that only his vehicle and a flower pot were the only thing damaged by bullets.
These pots been had them for 30 years. Ain't nothing been holes in them.
Maurice Webb's porch and now his vehicle was also a part of the investigation after being shot during Tuesday night's shooting. Sadly, so was a 12-year-old girl.
And that poor kid laying in the hospital. Don't know why. Don't even know she in there probably. You know, that could be my kid, my grandkid.
Webb says he's lived in the neighborhood for 20 years. He and other neighbors are doing their part to keep up the community and slow crime. But daily speeding,
come through here doing 80, 90 miles an hour, outrunning the police,
and weekly shootings are taking his street down a dark road. Webb says families need to keep a closer eye on their kids.
If your son come home, ain't but 16, 15, 17 years old, got a pocket full of money like that, where you think he get it from? What you gonna do, keep him? I call them, come get him.
The longtime neighbor is leaving it up to police and a higher power to erase these evils.
It's a heartbreaker. I got love in my heart, you know. I don't know about all the rest of the people, but you know, I go to church, I pray for food.
Now, unfortunately, justice has already been delayed. According to a police report, investigators say one of the men with the young girl is refusing to cooperate with police. In fact, they described his behavior as irate. So they say when witnesses don't cooperate, it makes it so much harder to find the people involved with crimes just like this. I'm Ryan Henson. I'll send it back to the studio for now.
Ryan, thanks. Today, family and friends are celebrating the life of former CBC football standout Damian Baker. Baker was shot and killed in downtown St. Louis over the 4th of July weekend. There was a visitation and celebration of life service at Lighthouse Baptist Church earlier today. Some community members talked about preventing gun violence. Others were holding on to their favorite memories of him. Baker's brother says he'll remember Damian most for his good soul.
He didn't see color, he didn't see money. Bro, Damian just wanted everybody to live life.
Damian's mother, Anna Marie Baker, and the rest of the family still calling on the public's help to find the shooter. If you know anything, police asking you to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS.
The city of Manchester wants to expand. Tonight, the town is looking to add 1,400 acres to its municipality, and that includes unincorporated areas that currently fall under St. Louis County, like the Barrett Station, Manchester Road, and Carmen Road region. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings joins us live from the Manchester-St. Louis County line to explain what this annex could mean for residents. Travis.
Yeah, and we're on Carmen Road right now, and I want to put this into perspective for you. To my left here is Manchester. Now, if you swing right over here to my right, you see all that greenery over there? That's unincorporated land, and if this proposal goes through, that too will become a part of the city of Manchester.
It's about 2 feet longer than my old flag, so it kind of...
He's no stranger to moving municipalities.
Back in 1999, when we lived just a mile away from here, our area was annexed, and my wife and I thought long and hard about it. You know, we weren't quite sure what we were going to do, but I'm so glad we did.
John Kestner lives in the Dietrich Chase subdivision, one of the neighborhoods that fall under unincorporated St. Louis County. Part of the just over 1,400 acres the city of Manchester is looking to annex. Kestner recalls how easy it was to reach local government before he moved from Manchester 2 years ago.
Not only were the leaders in our government our neighbors, they were accessible, they were responsive to us.
And the services they provide. A prime example, ongoing street improvement.
We were so glad to have that done in our neighborhood when we left. Unfortunately, the people on the north side of Carmen Road didn't have that because they were still in St. Louis County.
Manchester Mayor Mike Clement echoes those benefits that would impact just over 6,500 residents and close to 3,000 homes they live in.
There will be cost savings for those residents that live in the unincorporated area. They're going to pay a bit more in personal and real property taxes, but the big savings are in trash.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page worried about the lack of policing.
I understand why Manchester would be interested in this area, but I don't think it's a good deal for the residents, and that's why I'm speaking up.
Residents like Kestner looking to cast his vote.
I hope that people will have the opportunity to cast their vote, pro or con, because it is a decision that should be left up to the voters.
There is still a long road ahead for this project. Residents and the public will have the opportunity to weigh in until next week. That's July 19th. And then the Boundary Commission will have up to 9 months to decide whether they want residents to even have a voice in this, or they could have the power to scrap it if they choose. Now, the city is hoping that this question will appear on the ballot next year, the 2023 municipal election. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Hard to believe, but school is back in session next month, but the area needs more bus drivers. What one company is doing to help.
Hundreds stop and smell the flower, but it's not the roses they're sniffing. The rare sight and smell at the Missouri Botanical Garden.
It's at least a glorious evening to be out and about the St. Louis area. We're talking about the heat and humidity creeping back in here, and so do the rain chances, which we badly need just in time for the weekend.
Happening right now, the Missouri Central School Bus Company is recruiting school bus drivers. Missouri Central is holding a hiring fair until 7 p.m. at its training center on Manchester Avenue. The company took over all St. Louis public school bus routes this summer. It's looking for bus drivers, monitors, and technicians. The hired bus drivers will take St. Louis public school students to and from class next year. If you don't have a commercial driver's license, the company will help you study for the test.
If you want to see Luna the corpse flower, you're out of luck. The Missouri Botanical Garden closed an hour ago, and Luna is closing along with it. Let's take a live look at Luna in the Climatron right now at the Missouri Botanical Garden. You can see quite a few people there, people taking pictures in front of it. The flower is nearly closed. It's starting to close. People lined up to see this plant all day today, and last night there was a line wrapped around the block. The flower is known for that terrible smell when it blooms and its large size.
Coming up, getting help during a crisis is getting a whole lot easier. The 3 numbers expected to save countless lives.
And remember that struggling Cardinals bullpen? Well, the manager is asking, how do you like us now? A live report from Bush coming up in sports.
We are just 3 days away from a 3-digit code officially launching to assist the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
That number is 988. It is quicker and easier to access with the potential to help thousands of people struggling. Our Justina Cornell learned more about what's to come, and she joins us in studio. Justina.
Yeah, and so that official launch date is this Saturday, but I'm told that 988 number has already been up and running since November. Each state is carrying out this rollout in its own way. Missouri is taking a regional model, working with 6 partners who will be handling all the calls, with one focusing on the text line.
I know myself when my son was struggling, we called that number.
It was her son's life on the line. For support, Marion McCord used to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Now she's sharing that number to empower others.
CHADS Coalition, CHADS is an acronym for Communities Healing Adolescent Depression and Suicide, and it's named in honor of my son, Chad, who took his life when he was 18 years old.
The loss of her son sparked a new beginning for the CHADS Coalition for Mental Health.
At CHADS, we're seeing middle school through high school students, and we do know coming out of the pandemic, it seems that the anxiety and the depression amongst our students is increased.
That's why now more than ever, she's embracing the latest phase of the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. A sharper, shorter number, 988, will officially roll out July 16th.
And the kickoff date is the beginning of 988, right? So it's the start of the work.
The original 1-800 number is staying put, but the 988 text and call line is adding on to make it more accessible.
It makes it so much easier to communicate. It's so much easier to remember. And the research shows when people are in a crisis state, one of the first things that goes is their ability to focus and remember.
988 has already been working with providers like Behavioral Health Response on the other line.
It is so important to reach out for help. The sooner, the better, and it is nothing to be ashamed about.
The goal is to make sure each person making this courageous call gets the helping hand they need.
People that call the Lifeline report that it was a significant factor in keeping them safe. It reduced their risk, and they would not have been able to stay alive had they not had that immediate crisis support. It does save lives.
Now, the goal is to answer the call in 30 seconds. I'm told if your locally designated 988 call center is overwhelmed and can't get to you immediately, that will be automatically rerouted to a national backup crisis center.
Well, Scott's word for the day was toasty. Yes, toasty out there, but the humidity stayed down, Scott, and I know that's going to change.
Yeah, that really changes as we head into this weekend. Humidity's creeping back in. Now, you know, if you look here over at the Missouri Botanical Garden, we've been watching this. Of course, Luna stealing the show inside the Climatron, and you see a lot of folks in there. The garden actually closed at the regular time this evening because it's the Whitaker Music Series that they have, and so they have concerts every Wednesday night. And you have to have tickets to get in. They don't cost anything, I don't believe, but you got to get them like the week before. You'll get tickets for next Wednesday tomorrow. They become available. So that's usually a sellout. And why wouldn't it be with weather like this? Temperatures right now in Forest Park are in the mid to upper 80s. Humidity levels, very tolerable. We have seen some spots around 90 degrees this afternoon, largely due to the fact that we're so dry. We tend to heat up more so when we have dry conditions. Now, the closest rain, well, there's some shower and thunderstorm action up here towards Champaign, stretching over towards Indianapolis, moving southeastbound. So this should stay well east and northeast of St. Louis with that little front as it slips on through. So next to no impact for us. We will look at mainly clear skies this evening. Temperatures will eventually settle back into the 70s. It's a great evening for baseball over at Bush or over at the Muni. Of course, though, with the light wind, the lack of rain, seasonably hot conditions, we still have high mosquito forecast for tomorrow. If the humidity were up and if we'd had more rain recently, we would be bumping that into the extreme category. That may happen over the weekend. Tomorrow, low 90s, humidity's up a little bit. The heat index should be under 95 degrees. But this weekend, we're making that transition towards the hot pattern for next week. And in doing so, we tend to see clusters of showers and thunderstorms develop to our north and west and then drop southeast, especially for Saturday night into Sunday. That's when we think the best chance of seeing showers and storms will be. But keep up to date on what's going on this weekend. You may have to adjust some plans. 90 right now, feels like it's 89. We managed to get up to 92 for the high temperature today in St. Louis. 60s to around 70 for lows tonight under a clear sky. Not quite as cool as it's been the last couple of mornings. Humidity creeping back up. Slim chances for rain here through Saturday, but then Saturday night into Sunday, those rain chances definitely ramp up. And then the heat ramps up for the middle of next week.
All right, Scott, thank you. Here is Frank with sports.
The Cardinals are going to try and do something tonight that no team has done this season, and that's beat the Dodgers' Tony Gonsolin, who is 11-0. Adam Wainwright goes for the Cardinals. With more on tonight's game, let's head to Busch and check in with our Ahmad Hicks. Ahmad, take it away.
Well, you know what they say, Frank, pitching wins baseball games. And the Cardinals, what if I tell you when the season starts, teams keep on average about 10 to 14 pitchers per roster? What if I tell you, though, the Cardinals, they've thrown out 25 different pitchers this season? Yeah, 25. That's a lot. From starters being injured to relievers needing a break or even position players logging a few outs in a blowout. We've seen our fair share of fresh faces on the mound. But despite the pitching carousel, the Cardinals as a pitching staff still rank inside the top 10 compared to the rest of the MLB. Manager Ali Marmol says it's a long season and ups and downs are expected, but he's extremely proud of his bullpen and how they've handled all the last-minute changes.
2 weeks ago, we wanted everybody in the bullpen to be gone, right? So like now everybody's stepping up and doing their jobs. So it's the ups and downs of the season. You're going to have times where things don't look right. You figure out why they don't, what's contributing to the inconsistencies, you fix it, and then you move on. And now we're seeing a lot of guys stepping up in different roles and contributing to throwing up zeros in that bullpen.
Marmol said the All-Star break, which is next week, couldn't have come at a better time for his staff. He says the players will use that time to rest up and recharge to finish the season strong. Reporting downtown, I'm Ahmad Hicks. Frank, back to you.
All right, Ahmad, thanks very much. The NHL free agency season beginning was pretty good for Robert Thomas. The 23-year-old signed an 8-year, $65 million contract. He's coming off a season where he amassed 77 points in 72 games. He is the future of the St. Louis Blues.
You know, I finally felt like I took that next step forward that, you know, I'd been patiently waiting for a couple years and got some good opportunity and was able to make the most of it. So, you know, a good building block for me. I think there's still a long way to go. And, you know, we'll see that over the next couple years.
After that money was spent, Doug Armstrong gave $16 million to Nick Leddy on a 4-year deal. Leddy is already 31 years old. However, the Blues were so impressed with how steady Leddy was that they felt they couldn't afford to lose him. But the Blues felt it was okay to lose David Perron. The 34-year-old forward signed a 2-year contract with the Red Wings, which will average $4.75 million per season. That won't play well with Blues fans. Perron scored 27 goals this year and is in the middle of the best 4-year stretch of his career with 94 goals. And that will do it in sports.
Coming up, curiosity didn't get these cats. The reason you may have trouble spotting a couple of zoo babies at Big Cat Country. The next time you head to the St. Louis Zoo, you could catch a glimpse of the Amur leopard cubs.
Anna and Arena are now free to explore their outdoor habitat at Big Cat Country. The girls are now 3 months old, weigh about 15 pounds each, but they're a little shy. When our photographer stopped by earlier today, neither cub was in sight. And zookeepers say it could be a couple of days for them to get used to their new surroundings. And they're also sticking close to their mom, Dot. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 6. Wheel of Fortune is next.
We hope you join us tonight at 10. Have a great night.